it's hard because we don't want to show them mercy, maybe because they've actually done something wrong to us, right? Maybe they actually did treat us badly. Maybe they actually did do the things that we're upset that they did, just like we actually did the sins that Jesus had to save us from. And the thing is that it sometimes is going to cost us. And it's what my mom used to say about being you got to be the bigger person. You got to be the better person. And sometimes that's hard, especially if you feel like you're the one who's always the better person, right? That you're the one who's always having to make the sacrifice. But God doesn't get tired of it. And, we don't really have any right to get tired of showing mercy either. This is doing these things and doing them without expecting anything in return is what loving mercy looks like. Loving mercy is the next piece what we're talking about. And it's the fact that we have to be doing stuff sometimes that we are not going to absolutely get any kudos for, where in human resources, there's lots of talk about all the different generations, right? And how they have to be dealt with in the workplace and what they need. And, they talk about the millennials needing more encouraging words and all of that kind of stuff. And I don't know if any of that, I think some of that stuff's true, but I also think just as humans, we like to hear good things, right? When we do something, especially when we know something that we did was hard, we want somebody to say, hey, good job, right? And the thing is with loving mercy, and if you are a parent or if you are in a relationship with someone who has mental health issues or any of those things, you are going to do things that are hard for that person, and you will have to show them mercy over and over and over again. And you are going to get very few moments where that, and never maybe from that person that will say to you, hey, thanks for doing that for me. Hey, I know I acted this kind of way and you treated me in a good kind of way, even though I was acting kind of bad. And thank you for that. The person who typically is going to do that to you again and again is probably not the person who's going to come tell you, hey, good job. So one of the things we can do for people is when we know somebody's doing something, and I cannot even express to you the number of people in my life who are so awesome about knowing my situation here with our kiddo, that come to me and say, hey, you're doing a good job. Hey, I know this is hard. Or people who just check on me, right? And just making sure I'm doing okay. And, Jason and I know try to do that for each other because, at the end of the day, I've told him a million times, when we've had a bad day where I'm just like, at least I know I always have you. At the end of the day, I know he's going to be there. And when I've acted badly, I do know I try to go to him and say, hey, I know I was crazy there, right? And he shows me mercy again and again, right? So it's hard to do, but it's definitely worth it in the end, right? Because that mercy is what keeps that person afloat. And we need to be showing mercy to each other right now because people need to be kept afloat because some of us are stronger in this particular current than others. And so if you've got the strength right now, you drag them along until they can drag you along because you are going to need them. Somebody's going to be dragging you at some point. So we need to be able to do that for each other. And then that final piece where it says living mercifully it says, I love mercy because there's no other way for me to stand justified before God. When that truth takes hold of my heart, I understood that loving mercy and living mercifully reveals God to those around me. Living mercifully meaning if I choose to show mercy to other people, there will be people who see me do that, and it will help them do that for other people. It's really, it's like the butterfly effect. It's like all of those different things that, there's all kinds of memes and stuff that talk about that, it's that ripple of just you do good and good will keep happening, right? Pay it forward, all of those different things. That stuff works. It makes people feel good. When you see somebody, that's why, I fully support people who watch, kitten videos and do all that stuff, take a break online and do those kind of things because that, fortifies you to be able to go do what you need to do. because this mercy stuff and this living justly stuff is not easy, but it is so beneficial to the entire human race if we can try to do that. This final piece that we have is it says walk humbly with God, right? And it says, though the world tries to tell me otherwise, I didn't make myself. I love that line. I love that phrase in this particular source that I found, because it's really this world does try to tell us that you are the master of your own destiny, and you do have a lot of control over how your life will go, right? And how you see the world and how you interact with the world. But, there's a lot of things at hand. And, personally, I believe that God created all things, he including me, right? And, I was just talking to Braden a couple weeks ago. His teachers, his sweet, sweet teachers had called me, and they were worried about him because he was being really hard on himself. He's a perfectionist. Don't know where he gets it. And he was being really, really hard on himself. And one of the things, it actually happened that next morning. He was doing something and he said something about, I'm so stupid. And I told him, I said, you know what? I don't want you to talk about my kid that way. Right. And I said, because, and I asked him, would you call your friends stupid? And he was like, no, of course I wouldn't. I was like, well, you could be at least as kind to yourself as you are to them. Right. And we talked about the fact that, God doesn't make mistakes, and he didn't make any mistakes with you. So however he made you, it's the right way that you're supposed to be, right? And that means with all of your good and your bad things, because, those bad things, and I know that I have learned this the hard way, is that some of the stuff that I would count as something bad in me has actually made me stronger in other ways. It's made me be able to see life from somebody else's perspective, right? And so that's been something that I've tried to talk to him about, is that, whatever challenges we have, God made us and he doesn't make a mistake, right? He created all people, it says, in his image. In Genesis 1:27, it says that all people are created in his image. That means intelligence, beauty, physical ability, all of those things come from God, and he makes no mistakes. So if however he made you with a big nose, he made you with a big butt, he made you however he made you, he didn't make a mistake. And so in whatever intelligence level he gave you and wherever he puts you, he does not make mistakes. So we need to learn to value and respect what he has done, right? And we need to value and respect where we have been and what we have been through. And some of the things that we have been through have torn us up. They have made us who we are. And sometimes that's made us really anxious people. Sometimes those experiences have made us bitter in some ways. But it's all of the things that happen to us. And I do honestly believe this. And my mother-in-law has said this to me about our situation with Jackson, because that guy is awesome, and he is hard, but he is awesome. And when I was talking to her one time, I was like, Jason and I didn't sow these seeds. Jason and I were good kids. We didn't do these things. Why is this happening? Why are we having to go through this? And jokingly, I think we said sins of the father. So thank you to Ira and my dad. But what she also said was, maybe this whole thing isn't even for you. This experience, you're not supposed to be necessarily learning something from this, or it's some sort of thing that you're having to deal with because of something you did. Maybe what you're going through is because you have to be there later for someone else who's going to go through this same thing, and they're going to need you to say, hey, I've been there, and let me help you, right? And I thought I keep coming back to that. She said that to me probably over a year ago, and I keep coming back to that in this whole journey, is that sometimes whatever we're going through is not necessarily for us. Maybe God's using that situation to fortify us so that we can then help somebody else later, right? And so that's part of that. So valuing and respecting all of the journey. And then having that stewardship piece is being able to take what you go through, using what God has given you, whether it's situations or resources or whatever he's done for you, and then going out into the world and using it, right? And making it count, Make those experiences count for something. Make those resources count for more than just, you padding a bank account or, hoarding your stuff. I mean, we've seen a lot of hoarding in the last few days, and that's not what God wants us to do with stuff. It's just not. We're here together. It's not a mistake that he put people here together. We're supposed to be here for each other, right? And so part of doing that is being a good steward over our lives and the way we can touch other people's lives as well. And then the final piece, it says, humility holds the key to both acting justly and loving mercy, right? And I love this quote by C.S. Lewis because he's awesome. And it says, humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. And I think that that's kind of a great place to end this lesson, is that, I recognize how much God has shown me, right? I recognize how much he has done for me. I recognize how much other people in my life are doing for me. And it's not just resources. It's not just, the fact that my mom and dad give us, I just can't even. But the fact that they're there, right? That they have my kids, that they take care of us. My in-laws are this amazing source of support and love and all of these things. And I just, knowing that humility is knowing that I didn't deserve any of that. I didn't deserve this life that I live, but I have it. And so the least that I can do, because I've been given all of this, and it's not money, because we ain't got that, right? It's not about that. It's about, I know that I have a lot to be thankful for and a lot to be grateful for. The fact that I'm quarantined with these 3 crazy people who I love and adore, and we're all very healthy and happy for the most part. All of those things, that I know that I'm grateful for that. And the least that I can do is go out there and then help those people who maybe don't have that. Because Jason and I were talking about that too yesterday, that I'm really concerned about my friends and the coworkers that I have at my old job and my new job, who I know live alone, who do not have these people, other heartbeats in their home. And we need to think about those people and reach out when we can. And sometimes it might be reaching out in something like this, right? And I don't know if this was helpful to anybody or if it was just crazy to hear me rattle on for this long, but I'm really grateful for everybody who tuned in. I'm grateful for the people who gave so much support before, and we're going to try to do some other things like this. I was just thinking we should try to do like an Uno game or something. We could play Uno virtually. I know that we could do that. So we'll try to figure out something like that, but I would just encourage everyone to be kind to each other. Be kind to each other. Be nice. Show some mercy this week to someone, because we need it. We all need it right now, because it's really hard right now. And I love you all. And these guys love you too. There's Jay.
Bye. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you for attending.
Have a great Sunday, and we'll figure out something to do again next Sunday.
Stay healthy from the coronavirus.
That's right. Stay healthy.
And wash your hands.
Be well. Wash your hands all the time. And # social distancing. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.